Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. You live with a psychopath.
What fresh hell?
Laughing in the face of motherhood.
Don't yuck my yum.
With Margaret Abels
and Amy Wilson. The average man does not really understand how important toilet paper is.
A podcast that solves today's parenting dilemmas
so you don't have to. The mouth sounds may take me under.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Fresh Hell. This is Amy.
And this is Margaret. And this week we are discussing what kind of monster the Shelter-in-Place edition.
Quarantine edition.
The quarantine edition. Whatever you call it. We're stuck at home and we're dealing with monsters, guys.
There is a certain kind of monster that's like, you're not actually in quarantine. You're self-isolating. You're only in quarantine. I'm not going to be that monster, but there is that monster.
Oh, can we talk about that monster?
Okay.
Because I feel like the people who are like the language police of this whole thing is like, guys, you know what we're talking about. We're stuck at home. There's a virus. We can't leave our house and we're baking and homeschooling. Why are we fighting online about what we're calling it?
The semantics of the horribleness. You don't have to have that fight.
I mean, I'm just going to say everyone is a monster to me all the time. This is my freak out week, Amy.
You've hit it.
I'm hitting the wall.
Yep.
I mean, it hasn't been good. Nothing about this experience has been good, but I feel like the first couple of weeks, I was like, ooh, there was at least some excitement and newness and like, oh my God, we're in a whole new, reality. And now it's just horrible.
This was also kind of the first morning I woke up and I was like, are you serious? Are you serious, world, universe?
People have been comparing it, I feel very correctly, to like I was originally due with my first baby September 11th. And I knew that wasn't right. I knew that was way too early. Like, I kept doing the calculations for myself and I'm like, no, that can't be right. But I ended up having that baby September 25th. And like, it just, that period of 13 days just was every day waking up like, are you kidding? I would literally wake up and start crying because I was just like, I didn't go to labor. I didn't go into labor during the night.
That happened to me with my third also. And what made that worse is I felt like everywhere I went, the only person more disappointed than me that there was no baby yet was every single other person that I encountered. Walking down the street at school, they're like, you don't have the baby yet? How long are you going to be? Like, that did not help. At least nobody's mad at me that we're all still in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, at least we're all in the same situation. You can definitely say that. Like, everyone's waking up crying. But my tolerance for the people I live with is very, very low. I mean, I talk to single friends. My sister is quarantined by herself. And she's like, well, it's hard to be alone. And I'm like, yeah. It's also hard to be with 4 other people all the time. Like, it's hard for everybody. And some people, I will acknowledge, respect. There are people for whom this is a lot harder. People who are like really scared by their tough underlying health conditions. People who have lost their jobs. I mean, there are people for whom it is tougher than me, but I still want to complain, and I will.
This is the best advice I've had for these times came from you, Margaret, which was...
Oh, thank you.
It's one of your sort of overalls that I've been applying in this time, which is that I should try to operate from a place of maximum generosity, right? Like if somebody else is not doing something in a timely way or whatever, it's like everybody's doing the best they can and everybody's home is a cyclone right now. And so operate from a point of maximum generosity. So I am doing that, but within the confines of this podcast, like this is the place to be really irrationally angry about somebody who cut an avocado horizontally. That was what Brea bought. Like,
yes.
Like it was, looks like an Easter egg, like, you know, at the drugstore, like a little plastic Easter egg. Her spouse cut the avocado like that and then like popped the top off.
And people, you guys, you have to come to our What Fresh Hell Facebook group. It's facebook.com/What Fresh Hellcast. And then you can just, I think it's actually facebook.com/groups/What Fresh Hellcast will take you directly to the group. If that doesn't work though, just come to the Facebook page and you can find it. People were being so funny because she put a picture up of this avocado cut in half the wrong way. And people were like posting I think his name is Patrick Bateman, the American Psycho. Is that his name? But like, whatever his name is, people were like posting American Psycho pictures because like you live with a psychopath. Who else would cut an avocado that way?
We are all living with psychopaths. And
yeah, this is the one thing you're realizing in this time is like, oh, I didn't realize that everyone I live with is certifiably insane.
Oh my gosh. Like, and it is only through other people that you're like, yes, the chewing. Yes, me too. It's our Me Too moment.
Oh, well, the thing I want to say also is like 2 nights ago, my middle child hit the wall big time. Like everybody's done it. My husband has yet. My husband, I always say he is like another good day in his life. And one of the things that's driving me crazy is like, he hasn't hit the wall at all. He's like, yeah, well, there are pluses and minuses to every situation. I'm like, stop being so cheery. Like, this is horrible. But he has not hit the wall yet. But 2 days ago, my middle kid just lost it, like crying, like literally kicking the kitchen table, which is like an island. Like he wasn't moving it. He was just kicking it. And he just lost it. He's like, I hate this. I want to see my friends. I'm so bored. And I kind of gathered him up, whatever he is, 10 or something. I gathered him up in my lap and he was crying. And I said, you know, this is hard for everyone. And we have to remember some people are having an even harder time. And I got about maybe 20 seconds into it. And he just was like, I can't hear this speech again. I'm so tired of this speech. And I was like, you know what? Props, kid. You're right. I'm tired of giving this speech. And I'm certainly tired of hearing this speech. So for today, we realize that people have it harder than us. We realize that we're lucky to be like safe and warm and dry. And, you know, we're not out on the front lines and it could be worse. But today we're just going to say what kind of monster and lean in and have fun with it because yes, we all understand that it could be worse, but what kind of monster?
I got a good one.
Please lead us off, Amy.
Sarah wants to know what kind of monster rips open the package of Lysol disinfecting wipes and just leaves it like ripped open like a werewolf was at it so that they will dry out.
I mean, Sarah, this is the what kind of monster of our times. Like Lysol wipes. I have an aunt. It was Aunt Terry. She was on the podcast a while back. And if you haven't heard that one, go back and listen to the episode is called like the mothers we never thought would be or something. We talk about our own moms, but my mom had passed away. So Aunt Terry filled in for me and she's hilarious and funny. But she was talking to me the other day about how she, you know, she doesn't have a lot of money and she was worried that she would never have a legacy to leave to her children, like an inheritance to give to her 5 children. And then she's like, but Meg, right before this started, I bought a 50 pack of toilet paper and now I have the legacy to gift to them. Like in these times, a person who wastes toilet paper or Lysol wipes, it's the worst crime you could commit. What kind of monster?
So my friend Julie, her husband he likes to bake. And so in some ways, that's a very good person to be isolating with, somebody who likes to bake. But here's the problem. He needed sourdough starter. And he traded a 6-pack of toilet paper for some sourdough starter. That is like the most screwed up, like gift of the Magi story I've ever heard. She was like, what? And we agreed that the average man does not really understand how important toilet paper is. Like her husband was like, we don't need that much of it. We don't use that much. And she was like, you don't use that much. What are you talking about?
Right.
Can you imagine?
Our toilet paper needs are different.
Yes.
So don't assume we don't need that much.
Don't assume we need as much as you need. And we're scraping it, Margaret. I have some Kleenex and some like, like table napkins.
You just used the phrase, we're scraping it. And I got really upset. And like, I got a terrible image. You're saying you're scraping the bottom of your personal toilet paper. Whoa, that almost went wrong, Amy.
Only in a metaphorical sense. Like, yeah, like we've got like maybe a week left. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do. I have napkins and tissues set aside on a high shelf. I hope nobody's found them. We're in desperate times. And if my spouse traded it away for some sourdough starter, I don't know what I would do.
I think there's a whole funny thing going on with bread. Like people are suddenly way into bread. They're posting pictures of their bread. They're baking. And then other people are annoyed that people are so into bread all of a sudden. And like the bread people are like, you're stepping on our turf. We're the bread people. You're not allowed to be the bread people.
Don't yuck my yum, right? Like don't.
Or like, don't bite my style. Like, don't come at my thing, which is I've always baked bread. It's like people who discover Nirvana too late. Oldilocks alert. I hate to say that, but it's true.
Back in my day. Yeah. It is.
It's like people who discover your favorite band and you're like, I always liked that band. So now you liking the band is a problem. That's how the bread people are. My brother is a bread dude. He's like always been into bread and making bread and he's got a bread thing going on. And I think he's rather annoyed that people are on his bread turf.
Or not properly appreciative. Like, okay, bread, like my daughter and I made a coffee cake out of like, the stuff we had around the house and it sort of like dried out before we even finished it. It's hard to get excited about anything right now.
I don't have a dog in the bread fight. I'm like, make bread if you want. Don't make bread. I'm glad you figured out how to make yeast out of apple rinds. And I'm glad these other people figured that out longer ago than you. But I just look at the bread wars going on Twitter and I kind of laugh. I'm like, wow, everyone's got a lot to say about bread right now.
This is a baking related what kind of monster. Erica says she left some butter out to bake with and she came back and found it just sort of like gouged at, like off the top, like not neatly sliced, just.
Oh, yes.
Yes, just chunked out.
You'll have to post that picture on the link to it because, yeah. And this is the kind of monstering I sense, Amy, and I mean this with no judgment and much love, that a lot of this is going on in your house, that like you have a way you want things done. You put the butter out for the bread and then just a rando walks by in your house and uses it for another purpose. And it's like this, I get the sense from chatting with you that this is the thing that's going to break you in the pandemic.
Well, I saw this on Twitter and I recognized myself as the monster because sometimes we are the monster, right? It's the what kind of monster am I? Different Amy on Twitter. She said, I've been calling my boyfriend Bette Midler all week because he can't help stirring the dinner, adding salt, turning the heat up or down. And that's where I recognize myself. Like I have to. Yesterday, my husband was mopping the bathroom floor. Ding, 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 ding. Like I win, right? Like, I mean, I was doing other stuff. I was cleaning everything, but he's like, I will mop the bathroom floor. Cause we realized that it's been like a month and we haven't mopped the bathroom floor. So he goes upstairs and I'm like, so listen, just take some of the water and slosh it around. And like, I know how to mop a floor. One, I wasn't sure if that was the case, but two, I just couldn't help.
You might have had reasons to believe that that was not the case.
Yeah. But even if you didn't know how to mop a floor, like you have a bucket of water and you have this like thing you put in it and then you put it on the floor and then you move it around. Like it couldn't be more self-explanatory, right? But I just had to just give him some tips as he went up the stairs with the bucket. And I recognized in myself, I am Bette Midler.
I don't understand Bette Midler.
Like Bette Midler, but you're Bette Midler.
Oh, Medler, Bette Midler. I wasn't hearing the whole concept. Bette Midler.
Now, Bette Midler
is exactly correct. I was like, what did Bette Midler ever do wrong to get dragged into this conversation?
Yeah. Like, is this a film? Now, Bette Midler might be, is she an Oldilocks alert? Back in my day.
No, you're Bette Midler. I definitely see that. I mean, let's be honest. If you're not Bette Midler, you are, I don't understand anything about you because my husband doing everything wrong is the theme of this whole thing. I mean, it's just like, that's not, and he's doing it to me to some degree. Like, it's a control thing. And we have said this already, but like your need for control at a time of this kind of panic and not indecision, but what am I saying? Like everything's crazy. It's going to manifest in telling your husband the best way to load the dishwasher. It just is. Mm-hmm. And for my husband, we have a long-standing joke that my husband's nickname is Alternate Plan Ables. Our last name is Ables. And he's Alternate Plan Ables. And his Alternate Plan Ablesness is just I keep saying, hey, since we have to do groceries, can you run to the grocery store and then on the way home pick up, they're going to have school supplies available for the kids. You know what? I'll pick up the school supplies first. And I'm like, listen, alternate plan, Abel's. Like, it doesn't always have to be an alternate plan. We can just go with the plan we already decided on. But mine is like controlling how he breathes, chews, and walks. And his is like, I like your suggestion, but let me give you an alternate version of the suggestion. I'm like, no, just do the suggestion we already came up with. We don't always need an alternate plan.
My problem in my house is that the dishwasher is being unloaded by people who aren't me, right? Like that is so good. It's happening. It's actually happening in week 80, whatever this says. But
they're doing it wrong, aren't they?
Well, yes. Here's the problem.
Yes.
There are well-established places where the, silicone oven mitts and the Tupperware go. There are places for those things. And a certain someone who's unloading the dishwasher has decided that those can have other houses, surprises. He likes to surprise us with where these things now belong. And the problem I have with this is not so much that happens, but when I tell the kids to make their own frozen pizza and they can't find the oven mitts, who are they going to interrupt? Like while she's recording to ask where the oven mitt is? Me. But I don't know where it is because somebody else did not put the oven mitt in the very clearly established place where the oven mitt belongs.
Amy, what kind of monster would do it? What kind of monster? I have 2 insights on that. Let me tell you about them when we come back.
For some of us, tax season is one of the only times that we look at our finances fully. And once it's over, well, that was terrible. And it is completely understandable not to want to think about it for another whole year. But using Monarch and being intentional with your finances in an ongoing way helps you see where your money is going and how you can put your refund to best use.
We are here to tell you, simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts and investments, net worth, and future planning together in one dashboard on your phone or laptop.
Feel aware and in control of your finances this tax season and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code FRESH.
As you know, my husband and I are preparing to send, 3 kids off to college, and I cannot tell you how helpful Monarch has been in showing us our full financial picture, helping us to track our spending and reach important savings milestones. Our weekly meeting, Amy, it's now run by Monarch.
Love it. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple.
Use code FRESH at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off at monarch.com, code FRESH.
Big Deal brands are up to 25% off right now at Designer Shoe Warehouse. You're not going to want to miss this. These brands almost never go on sale. At DSW, we'll give you something to brag about. Like up to 25% off select styles from Adidas, Crocs, Nike, Reebok, and more brands you love. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Save today at your DSW store or DSW.com. DSW, let us surprise you.
Amy, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Both are the monster. And that's the problem. Like, your people are like, what kind of monster yells at someone about where a silicone mitt goes? And you're like, what kind of monster puts the silicone mitt in the wrong place? And
right.
I will say my other insight is, my husband and I say this to each other all the time, and we observe it about people. People never get less themselves. Like, as you get older, like a person who's nervous doesn't get less nervous. They get more nervous. Like, as we go along, we kind of calcify more and more into our ways of being. Like, people don't suddenly become less, controlling. And I think the pandemic and this whole quarantine situation and this whole extraordinary way of being alive right now is a huge example of that. Like, my husband doesn't get less, we call him the turtle. Like, his MO, his overall way of operating is whenever there's conflict, trouble, difficult things, he's like, let me go into my carapace. Let me jump back into my turtle shell and be safe in here and get my little bit of work done while the crazy storm rages around me. He's a turtle. That's his go-to personality type. And the fight that we keep having now is like, could you dial into what's going on? The kid just lit the sofa on fire. I'm trying to record a podcast. The roof is leaking from all the rain. And you're turtling. But of course he's turtling because that's how he is a monster. Like, when there is trouble, he turtles. when there is trouble, I go more and more crazy and I get more whirling dervish and I just randomly scream at kids like, learn the thing about ancient Egypt. Like, what am I doing screaming about this?
Stacy's spouse, speaking of turtles, right? She says, what kind of monster makes only himself lunch, then sits down at a table with the three of us and just dives into his BLT? My kids are 4 and 2, and we are both working full-time from home. There were words, she concludes.
She's married to a turtle, I'm telling you. His way of operating is like, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm going to get through the day. And like, this is the kind of fight I have with my husband all the time. Like, did you really just go at the end of a day at like 6 o'clock while I'm still dealing with it? Did you just really go open a beer and sit down on the couch? Like, darling, would you like a beer? How about that question?
Right.
But his safe space is like Mind Palace, you know? And he's just in his Mind Palace, just ignoring the world and having a beer.
I mean, you're right. So it's like Stacy is perfectly within her rights to, you know, read him the riot act over that.
Oh, 100%.
Totally. But right, he didn't do it to be a jerk. He did it because he's really in his head about something that's happening at work or when are things going to reopen, and made himself a BLT. My husband's been doing salads. Like, he does salads that we all kind of tease him about because they are the sort of like garbage leftover salads. But I did have to kind of explain to him, like, while you're at it though, I mean, even if everybody says no, while you have the 25 things out and open and you're making a salad, you do need to say, hey, does anybody want a salad? Like, you do need to at least inquire if anybody else wants some of what you're making every single time. And he is, but we had to have words, shall we say, about what the expectations are.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going to have to keep having words, guys. Like, it's a reset. This is the ultimate back to one. Like, my back to one is screaming. I become an insane yeller, and I find myself, I used to call it, I mean, on the old podcast, I used to talk about, we did a yelling episode, the yelling flu, where like I go to bed and my throat is sore and I have a headache, and it's from yelling all day. I have to yell less. But my go-to is like external chaos and just living in that place of chaos and screaming at people all day. And I have to stop doing that. But my husband also has to stop retreating to his turtle mind palace and dial in to what is happening. And your husband needs to start making a little salad for everybody. Right. Monsters. Let's do Lillian's, because this one just, it spoke to me on such a deep level. It is such a what kind of monster. What kind of monster buys Stacy's pita chips and then proceeds to hate the sound of everyone chewing them? Me, that's who. The Costco size bag. I am not okay here. And I think it might be time for all of us to acknowledge that this is not the time for crunchy foodstuffs.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a takeaway.
Are Stacy's pita chips particularly egregious in this way?
Oh, yeah, because they are like a thicker, harder Triscuit. It's all crunch. It's all mouth sounds all the time. And I don't know Stacy's. I'm sure there's a great brand. I don't want to hurt them at this time, but I'm not sure they are the right food for this time. Like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I think there are things that need to come off the list, guys.
Yeah.
Because it's true that the mouth sounds may take me under.
At least take them to like a quiet space by yourself.
Yeah, the cozy corner might be the spot for Stacy's pita chips, because we have one member of our family who is a very loud eater. It's always been a problem. It's been a fight at the dinner table long before this began.
Yes.
And it's something that we work on all the time. We remind gently at every meal that you must close your lips while chewing, because listening to like, he sounds like Cookie Monster at every meal, you know? And so we have gently reminded him, and it is a source of friction. He does not like to be reminded, but we don't like to listen to the chewing. But wow, I'm not feeding him any Stacy's pita chips during this outbreak.
Does music help? I have found sometimes that putting music on during dinner makes the loud chewers chewing less obvious.
It is so unappealing to me. I feel like I have just started.
What kind of monster listens to music during dinner?
But like, what kind of monster hates music? And I think I have started, I find during this time, playing more music during the day. Like, it just cheers my act to, I have a playlist called COVID-19 playlist, and it's like 50 songs that I really like.
Is it on Spotify?
No, I should share it. I'm not a Spotify person, but I'll try to share it on Spotify.
Yeah, let's share it. We'll figure out a way to share it, guys, because that would be fun.
Okay, because it's just like songs that really keep me happy. Just any song that makes me happy is on this playlist. It's got like Taylor Swift, it's got Chance the Rapper, it's all over the place. It's just cheery music. But I do find at mealtimes, I don't know, the chaos of mealtimes, it's like, now music, that seems too much.
Yeah, I actually don't really like music at mealtimes. I don't like too many different sources of sound at the same time. But
That's what I'm thinking that would really annoy me. But at the same time, would it drown out the mouth sounds? Probably not. It would probably just be like the soundtrack of the eating, which would be horrible.
The problem with the loud chewing is that the person who is bothered by the loud chewing is also tuned up right now, right? As you were saying, like we're all more ourselves in this moment. So
yeah, he certainly doesn't like it anymore to be told that he's a loud chewer. That's for sure.
can we pivot to the do you really have to do that right now sorts of monsters? Because they're out.
Yes.
They're out during this pandemic.
Oh, monsters. Why are we starting things now? My husband is definitely this kind of monster.
Shannon says, what kind of monster starts a low-carb diet during a pandemic? I cannot do this. Carbs are the only thing keeping me from going over the deep end. Kelly just says, kill him now. She's giving you permission.
Yeah, Kelly is advocating for Shannon to commit spousicide.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the term.
Yeah. Katie says, what kind of monster decides to declutter and clean his office building on a Saturday during a pandemic? Like this, we have talked a lot about the husband who decides to start organizing the electrical cord drawer 5 minutes before a company comes over. Like this seems like the same kind of monster. Like this is not, again, both people are monsters because I am so project averse right now. Like, let's blah, 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 blah. But I know my sister and her husband, like they repainted their bathroom and they're rebuilding a rock wall outside. And like, I'm just like, what kind of monster is doing projects during the pandemic? That's my horror. I do jigsaw puzzles, but beyond that, like I don't want to take on I don't want to like, let's repaint the kids' bedrooms now that we have free time. No, thank you.
It's okay to be that person and it's okay to not be that person if you're left out of it.
It's not okay to be that person if you live in my house. That's all.
Okay. Kelly said, and I was proud of this because she actually took a piece of advice I gave and she applied it to this moment. She says, Amy has a good piece of advice. Never interrupt a happy toddler. I would like to add, never interrupt a cleaning husband. Mine decided to clean the basement and garage without me. He disappeared for hours, which normally bugs me, but this time I just left him alone. Part of me wonders if he just wants alone time away from me and the boys, but I will take it.
This for me is top of the triangle quarantine advice, Amy, which is your advice. Don't stop anyone who's content. Mm-hmm. And it has really, even with the homeschooling, because we're trying, the homeschooling, I'm telling you, our kids' school is sending home a ton of work, like 5-6 hours of work a day that takes my disorganized and kind of like, let me stare out the window for half an hour kids, like 8-9 hours some days. But when we break and it's lunchtime, if everyone's like having fun and joking around and like making a Harry Potter fort in their, in the part of the attic that they found, that's what they're doing. I'm not stopping anybody from doing anything when they're happy.
Yes. Erica says, my husband got on a decluttering binge this week. I tried to stay out of view and not make any sudden movements. Just leave him alone.
I need this advice, guys. I need to like stop bothering my husband so much. I feel like he is going to like dig a tunnel through our garage and escape one of these days because I am a very annoying person to be quarantined with. And I feel like I can acknowledge that. Like I am agitated. I'm a yeller. I'm like trying to control everyone's behavior to make me feel better. I feel like he's going to start toddling out. I have to let him find more him time because, I feel like he's going to want to spouse aside me soon.
I do think I'm with Katie. She says my husband decided that he wants to start eating keto again. He told me this 2 days after I placed our grocery order, which has to be placed a week in advance. I'm with you, Katie, that I don't think this is the moment to try on weird diets that are one, hard to shop for, or two, going to make you like low blood sugar and cranky and less available as your best self. You know what I mean?
No. I would say what kind of monster starts a keto diet right now? I would not support that. I mean, if you definitely want to do it all by yourself without like any involvement, but like also one of the things that I find about any kind of like meal plan is that it involves a lot of talking about it and how it's working. And like everyone I know who's ever started any kind of diet, 90% of that, it's like they say the first rule of what's the thing your husband does that everyone's into, the exercise thing?
Oh, CrossFit. Yep.
The first rule of CrossFit is only talk about CrossFit. Like, I definitely don't want to be quarantined with someone talking to me about how great they feel from doing keto. Like, I would start tunneling out.
Yep. I'm with you on that one.
That sounds horrible. I say skip it.
Can we talk about a Facebook crime that monsters are committing in this time?
Please. Yes.
Cody wants to know what kind of monster goes on a Facebook group and answers the question, what's a good app or website for a 5-year-old with screen free is really better, you know?
Yeah, that's a monster. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is a monster.
Yeah.
We might have to kick you right out of the Facebook group if you responded that.
Yeah. My sister said, it's like, she said, what kind of monster answers a question in a Facebook group by saying you're asking the wrong question? And that's exactly it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it's been very interesting to me to see how this is manifested on Facebook. And I feel like people are lonely, you know, and so they're seeking connection through social media. And it's not always going great. And I'm trying to find my grace with it because a lot of people are, you know, becoming the like, well, my kid finished all their homeschool by 9:15 and now we're learning Latin together. Like, I might hit the block button on you, but I'm trying not to be too annoyed by those people because I do understand that there is in the same way that I am trying to control my environment, trying to control other people on Facebook. I understand that as an extension of the kind of monster that I'm being right now. But it is totally fine to goof on those people because they're annoying as hell.
Yes, but anybody who's going to Facebook right now looking for advice, and I think it's a good place for advice, should only be given relevant advice. The premise of their inquiry should never be questioned.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is how we run the Facebook group and it goes pretty well, but basically there is zero tolerance for fighting at all. So if you don't have anything helpful to say on a thread, don't say it. So like, hey, what's the best, you know, video game for a 2-year-old to play? Even if you're like, that's a crazy proposition. I don't think 2-year-olds should play. Stay off the thread. This is a person looking for a very specific thing. You know, I just feel like it's really not the time for learning and growing. We talk all the time about at some school conference, my son, they were saying, well, he has some troubles because a lot of times he's, quote, not available to learn, unquote, which means like he's busy thinking about planet Pluto and not like doesn't want to learn about the pyramids. And that has become such a touchstone thing. And I say it to my husband all the time. He's like, actually, the dishes go in the dishwasher. And I'm like, oh, I'm not available to learn right now. And that's the thing. I feel like most people right now are not available to learn. It's not a time to teach people about screen usage for their toddlers.
Yes. Yes. It's just time for virtual hugs and rage.
It's time for virtual hugs and rage. Guys, let's take that with us through the break. We'll be right back.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that: taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence, all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE.
Close your eyes. Listen to Monday.com. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform. So flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally breathe.
And now, your first day of quarantine versus your 30th day of quarantine.
From the What Fresh Hell podcast.
Day 1.
I think you'll see that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe functions not only as a compelling narrative, but also as a compelling Christian allegory.
Day 30.
Order of operations. Listen, that is literally never going to come up in real life. Just skip that one. Day 1.
I was thinking, while we have this time together, it would be so fun to do a mommy-daughter book club.
Day 30.
come on. Sweetie, come to the living room. New ep of Real Housewives is up. Oh, they are definitely setting Sutton up with the villain in it this year. Day 1.
I forgot how much fun cooking can be. I also cannot believe I've never made my own chimichurri sauce before.
Day 30.
All right, kids, for dinner tonight, it's pita chips with a side of ranch. The ingredients are in the cabinet, so just go for it. Day 1.
You know what? I'm kind of looking forward to my husband and I finally getting to spend some much needed alone time together.
Day 30.
Oh my God, has your breathing always been this annoying? How did I never notice this before? I swear, you are going to drive me absolutely insane.
This has been your first day of quarantine versus your 30th day of quarantine.
From the What Fresh Hell podcast.
You know, I think some of the reason that we are perhaps having heightened, what do I want to say, antipathy with our spouses is because we're bored, right?
One of the reasons we're thinking of murdering everyone we live with is
we've played Yahtzee already. Like, I remember thinking this, like, in my daughter's pre-K classroom. The kids were like, well, we've already played with the do-a-dot painting thing, so instead, let's socially isolate this girl. You know, like, they get bored and they, it leads to games you maybe shouldn't be playing. So there was a tweet that Eric Spiegelman put up on Twitter that I saw everywhere, including somebody posted in the group. Said, my wife and I play this fun game during quarantine. It's called Why Are You Doing It That Way? And there are no winners. And I think that we can all identify.
Guilty. Yeah, this is the dishwasher where the silicone gloves go. There are no winners in the game of Why Are You Doing It That Way?
No.
But we're not going to stop doing that either. We're just going to play and lose.
Let's play some games.
We have a famous story in our family that we were all on vacation and my brother went to play golf. And his wife, who at the time had 4 kids under 6, had a whole plan to take the kids to the playground, get out of the house. And then when she went to take the car, the keys were not there. And she couldn't go anywhere. And she's stuck on vacation day with 4 kids, like inside this fairly small apartment that we're staying in, while my brother is gone for 7 hours playing golf with the keys in his pocket.
Oh.
And all day we're like waiting for him to come home. She's seething. It's like awful. And my brother walks in and he says, before we say anything, I have a statement. Let's remember that when we play the blame game, nobody wins. Oh, and I mean, he was totally joking because he realized he was walking into a buzzsaw, but it's something that we say all the time. Like, when we play the blame game, nobody wins. And it's like, yeah, we're still going to play it and you're to blame. And so the game of how to do that correctly, we're still going to play it.
Joe G says, here's an interesting game. I will also play with my phone then. We don't even have to speak to play that one.
So is the game that, like, you're annoyed that your husband is on his phone not speaking to you?
Right. Like, I'm scrubbing pots and you're looking at your phone. Fine. I will also sit down and look at my phone.
Yes.
Let's see who can do that longer.
I would say this is not a great time for passive aggressive. And yet again, we're going to do it. So like, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, would I advise? The problem with passive aggressiveness on my husband is because he's a turtle, it doesn't work.
Yep.
Like, I can storm around angrily for 7 hours. And then I'm like, how could you not know how angry I am? And he's like, I didn't notice that you were storming around for 7 hours, because he's a turtle. So I have to be pretty active aggressive with him.
I feel like that was my light bulb moment when we last talked about what kind of monster, that usually the monster is unaware that their behavior is monstery. And so you like cleaning the counter really aggressively, you know, rage slamming the kitchen cabinets doesn't get it across. The monster's not very smart. And so you have to say, you can't just make a BLT for yourself, you idiot. You have to actually say it, and then they'll get it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's so much more fun to say, you can't just get a BLT for yourself, you idiot.
Oh, I'm saying you should say it, but maybe not scream it, just say it. Yeah. So Tina has a good game. Our game, she says, is called Can You Produce Crumbs With It? And my husband wins every time. Somehow he can go into the kitchen for anything, yogurt or a plum or a cup of tea, and leave the counter strewn with crumbs.
This is the Scylla and Charybdis that we're dealing with right now, an Odyssey reference. This is the rock in the hard place.
Yes.
I like to let my kids eat in front of the TV sometimes because it clears the kitchen and Also, it just eats up more time. There's a lot of reasons why I like to let them have a meal in front of the TV every once in a while. It just changes the routine. There's many positives, but their ability to do so without completely, like, it's like they had a high-powered fan just blowing the food at their faces to try to catch as much food as they can. Like, that's what it looks like when they're done. And so it's a hard call. Like, do I want to deal with that or this? And before you tweet me on Facebook or write me on Facebook, yes, I have tried telling them not to make such a big mess.
Yes. They are trying not to make such a mess. That's the really crazy part.
Oh,
this is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, but like sometimes dinner and a movie in front of the TV is like, that's just what we're in the mood for. But yeah, it's tough.
I have a new, like, what kind of monster crumb that's came into my life. I'm looking at it right now. With kids homeschooling, the pencil eraser, like leavings, like the tiny little bits of eraser that go flying are everywhere on my desk right here. And it's funny because they're invisible, apparently, to everybody but me.
But you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I have to clean them up even though they're not mine.
Yeah, the homeschooling detritus is a problem. I mean, my 6th grader works entirely on the computer, which is really, really nice because it's very clean,
Yeah.
But my younger ones, they need printouts of all the work for it's harder for them to like flip back and forth to answer a question and then go back to text that's not printed out. There's a million reasons, but I've made binders. I've done it all. Again, it's like, I feel like this time, I used to always say about keeping my house clean that I was under the allure that we were always just one decorative basket away from having a clean house. And now with homeschooling, I'm under the allure that there's a binder system that can keep this all contained. And I believe I'm chasing the white whale of the binder system. And there is no binder system. Like
No.
Because even with the binder system, then you think that pencil shavings are bad. Try the little white round cutouts that come when you constantly are hitting binder pages.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy, it's not easy. It's not easy, this coronavirus life.
I'm sitting here wondering if like the Canon printer ink cartridge factory is considered essential. Are those employees getting what they need to show up at work these days? Because what happens if we run out of printer ink?
I don't know. We had just gotten a big box of paper, so we have tons of paper. But yeah, the printer ink is another whole thing. I mean, I don't know. Would it be better if it just stopped printing and we could just stop the craziness and be like, we tried, guys.
I really did try my best.
Now watch this documentary on elephants and that will be your school for the day. Because our schools, this is what I realize, a lot of schools get out. My in-laws' school, my nieces and nephews in Texas, they get out like at the end of April. We go until June 24th.
It is true. We can feel even more sorry for ourselves about the amount of school we're not going to get.
Oh, I feel like I'm in, just like hash marking the wall, Oh, guys, I've lost my joy. Amy, don't let me go off the rails. I'm about to just start crying and whining.
Here's a good what kind of monster that I have just heard about during this pandemic. It's a thing that apparently people do. Katie says, what kind of monster sets off the smoke alarm in the house by stuffing an entire peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the toaster? I read about another one of these too.
Who does that?
There's another version of what kind of monster.
That's hilarious. It sounds delicious in its own way, but
yeah, I guess it's kind of like a George Foreman grill kind of thing. I know you're resistant. I've been using the George Foreman grill a lot during this special time.
I mean, I'm not resistant. I just haven't heard of a George Foreman grill since 1991.
Oh, I'm here. I have one. It's good for heating up leftovers. But yeah, in the toaster. So I read another story about a guy who has like extended family, like a niece quarantining with him. And she came into the kitchen and saw him like taking, like a regular cold piece of bread and putting butter on it. And she's like, you're going to eat it like that? You should toast it so the butter melts. And he's like, I am going to toast it. And he put it in the toaster with the butter on it. And his niece was like, you can't put butter in the toaster. And he was like, you're quarantining at my house. It's my rules. But then he was sort of like, but who's the monster? Her for telling me how to.
But hashtag team niece. That's insane.
Yes. So there are people who think that stuff on bread should go in the toaster with the bread. Did you know that?
Well, it reminds me a long time. I couldn't have been in college because it was computers, but maybe it was someone I was dating, but just came over randomly. I was looking at the computer. It was definitely a dude. And he said, oh, you have your settings all wrong. And he reset everything on my computer so it looked just different. Like either the text was bigger or smaller. I remember thinking no, there's no right or wrong here. We've been having that. The kids are, having some debates, shall we say. But my oldest son is very into movies and into this idea that you are right or wrong for liking or not liking certain movies. And my daughter keeps trying to explain to him, actually, that's called an opinion. But he just is like, no, you can't be right if you thought the movie Abominable was good. You can't be right. It's not possible. Maybe that's like the toaster. You can be right if you put buttered toast in the toaster, but I don't think so.
That seems very clear cut. I have a what kind of monster confession of my own, which is I'm the monster who doesn't pause the thing that's being watched on demand before I shut the TV off. Apparently, that's the worst thing anybody can do in the whole world, per my 12-year-old, and I do it.
What does it mean?
Like she's watching something on demand, Netflix or whatever, and if I just turn the TV off, but don't first pause what she's watching, then it's going to keep playing, apparently, in the cyberspace. I don't know.
But it doesn't. Then the next time you go to it, it just says resume.
She is quite insistent that I am ruining her life by doing that.
I disagree. I think it'll just go to resume. I think it's fine.
Thank you for the absolution.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I forgive you. Talk about a modern monster. And we do have to talk about this. There are two sides to many monsters, but let's talk about this. There are no two sides to this. We are in the era of disposable gloves and masks. And what kind of monster leaves their disposable gloves on the ground at the park, outside the grocery store, or in shopping carts, and their masks? Guys, if you are doing this, you have to stop. You are a monster, and there's no second side to this.
Yes, that's very clear cut.
I mean, lots of monsters, you're like, well, maybe they have a different point of view. There is no, don't leave trash around.
I am not at all saying it's okay, but I think the problem is who knew that we needed to have garbage cans next to where you put the shopping carts back in the parking lot? I think that's why people are doing it. Doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But put it in your darn pocket, people. Come on.
Yeah.
Litter bugs. It's never okay to be a litter bug.
Yeah.
And Amy, while we're on the subject of unforgivable monsters, I have to just finish with a shout out to my own household.
Okay.
Perhaps I will play this section of the podcast aloud. It comes from Chelsea, but it might as well have come directly from my own heart, Amy. What kind of monster leaves toothpaste blobs in the sink? I mean, this is another thing. There's an old expression, right? The straw that broke the camel's back. This will be the straw that breaks my quarantine back. Scraping, I have a spatula that is now dedicated to become the toothpaste scraper because it sticks and then I have to go up and scrape. It's the worst. I don't know why it's the worst, but it's the worst. Also, my kids use one uses bubble gum, one uses strawberry, and one uses mint. So it's like a cavalcade of disgustingness.
It's like a rainbow. Yeah.
It's vomitous.
I have an effective counteraction to this.
Not have children?
Yes. Which is to make the kid clean it up. My number one offender in this way, I made that kid clean it up. You know the scene in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure where he has to save all the snakes from the zoo and he comes running out of the snake house at the zoo, screaming, holding the snakes, I'll do this, but this is the most disgusting thing I've ever done.
Oldie locks alert, but yes.
Back in my day. This kid, nearly, he had the vapors from how horrible it was to scrape up his own toothpaste blobs, I might add. And it's gotten better since then.
I guess I have to make my monsters clean it up. But this is the thing, guys. You can do anything. Get through this whole experience any way you can. But do not throw your gloves in parking lots and do not leave toothpaste on my sink.
No, just those two things. Everything else is fine. Everything else can be fixed.
Everything else is fair game at a time like this, but those two things are completely unacceptable. The other thing we need you guys to do is come and visit us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/whatfreshhellcast.
You can join the page and the group there. We're also on Instagram at whatfreshhellcast. Please come follow us there. We're always sharing, the stuff we are all getting through the day laughing at. We have plenty of that there too.
And we will post some pictures of these monstrous things from our Facebook page. We will post them with the show page of this one so you can take a deep dive into the monstrousness that everyone is experiencing.
We see you. Complain to us. We got your back.
Yes, guys, we see you. We salute you. We are sorry that you live with monsters, but we all do. And we all are monsters. So I think that's how we solve this one this week. Until next week, guys, stay well. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. This is a Monday.com ad. The same Monday.com helping people worldwide getting work done faster and better. The same Monday.com designed for every team and every industry. The same Monday.com with built-in AI, scaling your work from day one. The same Monday.com that your team will actually love using. The same Monday.com with an easy and intuitive setup. Go to Monday.com and try it for free. Yes, the same Monday.com.